It's actually happening, and the NBA is horrified of this, as we have exactly what we've wanted to see going down in the NBA right now, which will help the Knicks in an absolutely huge way by giving them more room to make trades or bring in a top-tier blue-chip young talent. Now, first of all, when this comes down to trade talks, this will have a huge impact. But on top of that, if the Knicks do decide to go the route of adding a blue chip young prospect, they actually, for the first time in a long time, will have the opportunity to do so based off the way that things are trending right now. Guys, there is a lot to dive into, and we are not going to waste your time. We are going to jump right into the news on Knicks Digest. If you guys are part of that 61% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, because we got videos coming out every single day on the Knicks that you don't want to miss out on. But let's jump into it, because there is a lot to go over right now on the Knicks, on the NBA, because right now in the Eastern Conference, what we are seeing is just the Knicks really start to get things going, but it's more than that. We're seeing the way that the whole East looks right now, and it is pretty close for the most part. I mean, the Charlotte Hornets are rising up the boards very quickly. The Milwaukee Bucks, once they get Giannis back from injury, should get help as long as Giannis does stay on the team after the deadline, which I kind of expect him to. Then the bottom of the East is the Brooklyn Nets, the Washington Wizards, and the Indiana Pacers. Now, the Pacers being at the bottom, it is what it is. We know why that is. They're taking a gap here with Halliburton being out. And the Brooklyn Nets, we know why that is, because they're terrible at basketball. So, that leaves the Washington Wizards. And why do the Wizards matter? Some of you are probably already ahead of me on this, but when you look at the Washington Wizards draft selection, well, if they fall out of the top 8, that pick goes to the New York Knicks, meaning 9th or below, the Knicks get to give it a go in the draft, which would be absolutely huge. On top of that, the Knicks do get their second-round pick regardless, and they would get 2 more second-round picks if this protected pick does not convey. But there's a world where this pick does convey right now, and if this is to happen, what we would see is the Knicks be able to land that 9th or worse overall pick, which would be huge for the team going forward. I mean, right now, there actually is that possibility where things stand. I mean, if we take a look right here, there's a world where if you get the draft to fall the right way, the Washington Wizards can fall in 9th, and there goes their pick. It goes to New York. Now, first of all, this would be a major error on the part of Will Dawkins, who has been nothing short of a phenomenal general manager of the Washington Wizards. The guy is an excellent GM, and he's really, really good at what he's doing, and I don't really think that he's going to let this happen, but the Knicks are in decent position to try to pull it off right now. The Washington Wizards, they will have to win some games, and they have started to look a little bit better than at least the other bad teams in the league. On top of that, they do have Trae Young, and if they do start to play young, then they are probably going to play better. On top of that, when we look at this Wizards schedule right now, I mean, we've seen a few wins on the board. We saw them most recently beat the Sacramento Kings. We saw them win 3 of their last 4 games, beating a good Portland Trailblazers team, beating the Bucks, beating the Sacramento Kings. You could tell teams what you want. You could try to tank all you want, but players are never just going to tank for no reason. Now, below 500 teams, the Wizards are really not that bad. They're 11-13. They did just, I mean, look, they've played teams above 500 and they're 2-22. They're not a good team. They're playing the Pistons, but then they play the Nets, a winnable game. They play the Pacers twice. They play the Hornets, who are rolling, but they can still beat. Right now, the Wizards can keep winning games, and it would be scary for them because not only would their draft odds fall for that first pick, but their odds would also fall into the area where they could lose that pick entirely. Now, when we look at the board for the Knicks, because let's live in this fun world where the Knicks would get this, they'd be able to add a blue chip prospect if they decided to not trade the pick. Odds are they'd try to trade the pick for some sort of contender, try to talk to the Bucks, be like, hey, we have more draft capital now, yada, yada, yada. That'd be all good. We all know how that would work. It'd be cool. But there's a world where that doesn't happen, and the Knicks decide they do want to add a nice young player to try to build upon the future. Now, we know Leon Rose does not like freshmen, and all across this board, outside of one person, it is all freshmen in the top 12. Maybe the Knicks trade down. They try to get more draft capital back. That's always possible. We've seen Leon Rose do that before. But there's also a chance where the Knicks try to look towards a forward that they would like to take. And the one that I instantly noticed was Koa Peat, who is selected at 10th overall right there. He's someone who would bring the Knicks a whole lot. He's a good rebounder, scores the ball well, and overall, we do have some scouting on him that has been done. Shout out to Babcock Hoops for this, but they talked about the positives of Koa Peat and said that when you just look at him, he's got a physical build and motor with a strong frame. He's a fluid athlete and consistently plays with energy. His finishing ability is good. Good touch around the rim, physicality through contact, and efficient scoring inside. The rebounding is good, active on both ends, controls the glass with strength and timing, mid-range scoring, elevates when he's got high release on his pull-up and turnaround jumper. Comfortable creating off the dribble in the mid-range. Matchup advantage also, he's too quick for slower bigs and too powerful for smaller players. A tough cover who can exploit mismatches. He's versatile, can handle the ball, pass, and switch defensively across multiple positions, and the defensive tools are there. He's got length, mobility, and instincts that allow him to guard inside and on the perimeter. He's also someone who does appear to be NBA ready. There is one weakness in his game, really, and that's perimeter shooting. As Babcock Hoops mentioned, limited three-point range and inconsistent mechanics, needs to become more reliable as a threat from the perimeter to maximize his offensive versatility. But overall, he is someone to really, really like the idea of. I mean, you look at him, and he's a guy who, like, shout out to Babcock Hoops for an excellent breakdown. They did say Koa Peat is a physically mature, high motor forward with a strong frame and explosive athleticism. He uses his power and versatility to exploit mismatches, often proving too quick for slower bigs and too strong for smaller defenders. His mid-range pull-up and turnaround jump shot are already reliable weapons, and he finishes through contact with authority at the rim, while his outside shooting remains a work in progress. Pete's combination of physical tools and developing skill gives him significant long-term potential. He impacts winning on both ends without needing plays called for him, yet has shown the ability to be an offensive engine when needed. He projects as a high-floor prospect with real star upside, the kind of guy who the Knicks would go out there and take because of that floor. That would be the real reason to go out there and try to grab a guy like Koa Peat. He does give a high floor for the Knicks, a guy who's putting up 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, while also shooting 35% from three, which is nothing to sneeze at. He's shooting 57% from the field, and overall would be a nice pick for the Knicks to add more forward depth, and a guy who would be able to play instantly. Now, the Knicks do have Mohamed Diawara, so maybe they look in a different direction. Maybe they look more towards a small forward, a shooting guard, even a center. A center would not be too shocking right here. Again, we can look at the board and just take a look at a few different guys. And there isn't a lot of centers in this top area right now, which would make me think if the Knicks wanted a big, they would likely trade down a little bit instead of picking him around 9th overall. So that is another interesting thing to look at. Now, I haven't really talked about the draft much ever throughout my time on Knicks Digest because the Knicks have been good throughout this point. So it's usually lower level guys. So looking at the top is something that's fun to do once in a while. And another guy to look at is Nate Ament. And overall, he's someone who does add some interesting abilities as well. But he would be, if he fell to the Knicks, it would be pretty surprising to see him fall all the way to 9 as of right now, putting up 16.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, shooting 40% from the field and 30% from 3. He's not been efficient, but he's looked at as a very high upside player. As Babcock Hoops mentioned, I cannot say that's a tongue twister for me. He's got length and mobility, 6'10", with a frame for coordination, fluidity, and speed in the open floor. He's got scoring versatility as a face-up threat who can attack off the dribble, finish with either hand, and stretch the floor. He's got high potential shooting with a high release, smooth mechanics, and long-term three-point projection. Playmaking from size, sees over defenders, and can deliver accurate cross-court passes. I don't know why I can't speak today, guys. And he has defensive tools as he's a switchable defender with another good foot, speed, and instincts type of guy that he is. And the rebounding is good as he's active on the glass with potential to improve as he adds strength. He's got composure, he's got a calm demeanor, and plays with poise and is rarely rushed. Now, there are some negatives as well, as he does need to get stronger. He's not an efficient offensive player as of yet. He's got to improve the shot selection and consistency. And his shot speed is the mechanics are smooth, but could benefit from a quicker release, while also the creation and passing has a solid foundation, but he can tighten his handle and cut down on turnovers. This is a guy who kind of does have very similar kind of strengths and weaknesses to Mohamed Diawara in a lot of ways. The Knicks do see a lot in Diawara, and this would be another pick that would kind of mirror him, so maybe the Knicks wouldn't go this way, but it is interesting to look at this whole situation. Now, guys, I will say I did record this video before the trade deadline, and this is coming out after the trade deadline. So obviously there is a chance that the Knicks did make some moves and their team needs have switched. But these are two guys who I would imagine, especially Pete, who the Knicks would likely go after hard. And as of right now, if the Knicks could get away with ending up landing this 9th pick, more than likely so, what would happen is they would try to make some sort of trade. They would likely try to dangle that pick for a player that's more valuable to them right now, or for more draft capital because the Knicks don't have a ton and they will be able to trade a 9th pick for a few futures is my thought process. But guys, let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think the Knicks have a chance at landing this pick? Let me know how you feel. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Hope the trade deadline went well. Have a great day. Go Knicks.